I'm ready.
Yes, we are back once again. It's been a long break. I can't even remember the last time I did a live stream or a video for this channel, but I am back on my shit before the end of the year. That Ain't Rap Podcast. I am Triborough. This is my bro, always Reg,
It's goody.
and we are doing um five rap groups that need to reunite. And I thought of this idea when Team One had passed away. Rest in peace, Team One from the Artifacts. He died recently, and that Artifacts was like one of my favorite groups, and I thought about this idea of we've had legendary groups like Gangstar and People I Can See Smooth and the Fugees that have disbanded, for one reason or another. And I was like, yo, what the game needs now is more rap groups who don't have a lot left, and you have a lot of artists that went solo from rap groups. I wanted to make like a short list of groups I think that need to reunite and come out with some new music. And it's not just you know delegated to just rap groups, even like rap crews. Because there's a couple of rap cliques that I think should come back to reunite and do an album. You know, so my number five is gonna be Terror Squad because I
Ooh.
think the first Terror Squad album was a classic, underrated album, and when back when Pun was alive, and rest in peace to Pun, and he was all over that album, and you had the joint What You Gonna Do, and you had In for Life, and Rude Boy Salute, and that was a great first album. The second album was okay. That's when Remy came into the fold, but they didn't have Triple Six there or Cuban Link or who else was of course Pun had passed away, but the second album just wasn't the same, and then after that it just wasn't the same after like Fat Joe had his beef with Cuban Link and Triple Six, and at one point he was out. He wasn't talking to Tony Sunshine. I believe him and Tony Sunshine is cool now, but I would love for the OG Terror Squad members to come back, reunite, and do one last album together with some boom bap production from like Apollo Brown and Alchemist, Derringer. I think that would be, even Buck Wild. I think that would be a great album, man, because they still Fat Joe still got it. Cuban Link has always been nice lyrically. You know what I'm saying? And I would love to see the OG members come back in the fold and have Remy on this one with them, and I think that'd be a phenomenal album.
That's a dope start.
Yeah,
All right. My number five would probably be third base.
I have that on my list too. I have
You
them
do?
definitely.
Yeah. Honestly, I felt like the two albums that they came out with were severely not just underrated, if you ask me, but it was so fucking short run. And honestly, just based off the reviews we've done from them and stuff like that,
Mhm.
I've always been more of like a Pete Nice fan, and
Yeah,
hits me because he don't even do music no more and
facts.
shit like that too. That's what fucking hits me. And I know that they came out with their solo albums, which I'm gonna be real with you guys. I like them, but I had some issues with both of them, to be real
Right,
with you.
right.
But the song for the Gladiator soundtrack, oh my god.
Yeah,
Like, can you imagine what the sound would be if they both came out like maybe 92, 93,
facts.
and stuff like that too, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I mean third base, man, they came out with two classics, but a lot of people in the game, Nas, helped break out, KMD, rest in peace, MF Doom, by the way. So yeah.
Yeah,
And
definitely. Go ahead. My bad.
oh, I didn't mean to say. I just want to say, and recently too, they did a P Nice in the interview. Again, dissing the fuck out of MC Sir. So we won't have a reunion not anytime soon. Just based
Right.
off that.
Yeah, that's my number four, third base, and I saw the interview that Search had with Matt Hoffer and how he was talking about how Pete Nice called his wife a bitch, and you
What?
know I believe like Search was the one that said that he tried to reunite the group twice and it just didn't work out, and he was like it was just too much negative vibes with Pete Nice that he just said like fuck it, it's just not meant to be. And I don't know how his relationship is with Daddy Rich, but Third Base for those two albums, they were great. You know what I'm saying? Like Deluxe Dalek has always been my favorite Third Base album, and I wish they could have gave us more. Like especially now, like I could definitely see them working with like a lot of like some of the newer artists, or J. Cole. I could definitely see them doing a joint with him. Maybe Terminology. You know, who else? Bobby J from Rockaway, because he's also from Queens as well, and I don't know, man. Like, it's just a shame that you'll never get that, and as far as the solo albums, I like the Pete Nice and Daddy Rich album more than the Search album. 'Cause I thought it was better production. You
Okay.
had like the Beat Nuts. That was like what 93 Beat Nuts production on there.
Ooh.
I thought that one was better than the Search album had some joints, but it wasn't like it was a disappointment for me. I think it could have been better. And the thing is, Def Jam promoted.
Yeah,
They promoted it. I used to see that album poster all over on Times Square and all that in the subway stations. And they promoted it. It's just I don't think the production lived up to
it did.
the album.
Yeah, we might have to do a double review on those solo
That would be
albums
good.
because I remember hearing a little bit of Pete Nice. I'm just like, this might be one of the only few times I would say that the group was better together than apart. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? Like
I agree.
compared to other rap groups, let's just say like a Wu Tang, for instance, which
Mhm.
I'm gonna say Wu Tang is more of a super group if you ask me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like together they were good and they were
Yeah.
amazing, but solo they had stellar results. You know what I'm saying? From
Yeah.
Only Built for My Cuban Links
Right.
to the Iron Man to Cal, which everybody likes to shit on to Cal for some odd reason, which
Crazy.
I'm not understanding. But that's another story for a different day.
Yeah. Yeah. That they yeah. Wu was just great. They were phenomenal solo and with the group. So yeah. So Third Base. That'll be now my number four. What's your number three?
You mean about my number four?
Yeah, number four. My bad.
You good? Um, my number four surprisingly is gonna be Little Brother.
Oh, little brother.
Now, technically, Ninth Wonder had left and stuff like that, and they kind of did a reunion performance about
Yeah,
maybe 3 years ago at Art of Cool.
yeah.
All my North Carolina heads, y'all should know about Art of Cool. We
Mhm.
still waiting for it to come back, but with this bullshit pandemic fucking everything up
Okay.
and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? But another story for a different day. Honestly, when it came to Little Brother, one of my favorite hip hop groups from the 2000s, but at the same time, I only liked them for the first two albums, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Which was The Listening and The Minstrel Show. I'm more of a
Mhm.
minstrel show guy.
Same.
Yeah, listening, I love The Listening.
Mhm.
Listening was good too, but when you got to like the Get Back and what was the other album that came out with? I think from 2010, the one where Lil Wayne was on that one.
Mhm.
It I hate to say they were just trying to go with like what everybody else was doing because
Right.
those first two albums, man, they did a lot from North Carolina and hip. And I'm from North Carolina myself
Mhm.
and shit like that. Cause Ninth went to my school too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing I loved about those first two albums because it was nothing you never really heard before, especially at that time in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? When everybody either wanted to be gangster or wearing oversized t-shirts and shit like that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But yeah, man. Now granted, I did like the album they came out with. I want to say 2020,
Mhm.
I think 2019, 2020. I did like that album, but it's not touching those first two albums.
Facts.
My personal opinion.
Facts. Yeah, little brother definitely has been like one of my probably like my last favorite group of like the 2010s because like the Metro Show was definitely like a classic album. I played that a lot, and it's a shame that the Ninth left, and hopefully at some point we get like Ninth Wonder comes in the fold and we get a proper Little Brother album.
Right.
Um, my number three is gonna be Children of the Corn, and they didn't drop an album, but this collective, this group could have been so great with all four spitters. You had Mace, you had Cam, Big L, rest in peace. You had Herb McGruff. You had Bloodshed. He also passed away. Rest in peace, Bloodshed. And they could have been a phenomenal group. They could have went multi-platinum many times over. and I remember hearing like the demos on Dat Piff when they had like a lot of the songs, they demo songs together, and it was really grainy. It wasn't mastered yet, but you could hear the potential in them, and you had like a early Mace on there, and Big L was in his bag, and Cam, and I wish they definitely would have still did an album together, even if with the passing of Big L and Bloodshed, like you still have Mace, you still got Cam, you got I believe her McGruff is still alive, right?
Who?
McGruff, he's still alive, right? If I'm not
As
mistaken.
far as I know.
Yeah. He hasn't dropped anything since like his first album, and I would add Dave East to that lineup. Because Dave East is from Harlem too. People forget. Like he had spent time in Queensbridge and he spent
He's
time in
dope.
Harlem. You know what I'm saying? And I just seen he just dropped a mixtape with Drama, and I seen he came out with a new video and he freestyle
Yo,
over
Drama's
the.
dropping a lot of mixtapes lately. What the fuck?
Yeah, he's back. Drama's back. He had the Snoop mixtape that was fire. I know you said he had a mixtape with Outkast or something, but it's like unreleased. Um, but
I heard about that.
Dave East just dropped a new joint, and he freestyle over the Gangstar loyalty beat, and it was fire. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, like Dave, if you put Dave East with the Children of the Corn, and you got Dave East with Cam and Mace and Herb McGruff, I think that would be a phenomenal group. Like they should think about bringing that group back and finally dropping an album. And then what you could do is like you drop an album, you could put some of the like the OG tracks with Big L and McGruff on there, and I think it would be a dope album. I think a lot of people would like to see that, but the just like for people that haven't heard the demo tracks, look for it on YouTube. Should have it at this point. I don't know if that
Yeah.
Piff was, but YouTube should have it, and it was like some phenomenal stuff that they were doing together, and man, like I don't know, it's unfortunate, but that would have been a great group if they had dropped something. So
Yeah. Back to Dave East. I just want to say that Survival album,
yeah,
fucking
that was
fire.
dope.
Oh my
That was
god.
dope. That's probably I want to say like that and Kyrie Chanel is his best shit to me.
Yeah, man. I even like the Common 3 mixtape too.
I don't know if I heard that. I might have heard that joint.
Yeah,
And he,
but
he, he did an album with Styles P also. I want to say,
yeah,
yeah, that was dope.
yeah, man. But my number three, this might be the typical choice, but Outkast.
That's my number
Now,
two.
now, granted,
Yeah.
I know based on the latter Outkast reviews that we've done, a
Mhm.
lot of people might think that I had a disdain for them. I'm just gonna be real. I love Outkast, but at the same time, I feel like they kind of get a bit overhyped at times because I want to say this once and for all. They be treating Big Boy like he's Andre 3000's weed carrier or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But that's another story for a different day.
Mhm.
Now we pretty much we know the whole story with this one. Andre's writing blog, the Idlewild,
Right.
whatever stuff like that. Now, granted, these two are still cool with one another.
Mhm.
It's not like they have no beat. This is why it's kind of different compared to other people on this list. And part of me feels like at one point, part of me felt like they're gonna get back together, but then I know they did Coachella years ago,
Yeah.
which I saw some of that said I said was pretty good.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just like I personally feel one more album, like one
Mhm.
more true Outkast album with organized
Right.
noise on deck and stuff like that. Have
Mhm.
Goody Mob, like just a true Dungeon Family album
Mhm.
and stuff like that. If you want to put Future there too, I don't mind. I seriously don't mind. I'm not the biggest Future fan, but
Right.
hey, he's Dungeon Family, whether people want to admit it or not.
Facts.
But yeah, man, that's my number three.
But I mean, at this point, they haven't dropped nothing since Idlewild. That was what, 06, 07?
Yeah,
So they spent a lot of time not in the studio together. Is that chemistry still there though?
I mean, that's a good question.
Because I'm thinking about it like this: like y'all didn't do an album together in years. What happens if they come back in the studio and said, "Okay, we want to do an album together," but they're finding it very difficult to restart? Because that could happen. They that chemistry might be gone, and they gotta like
Oh,
because Andre's a totally different person now. You know what I'm saying? He from according to him, he told Rick Rubin in that Apple interview like a year or two ago that he has writer's block and he wants to at this point he wants to reintroduce himself to this generation. How do you do that and then possibly want to do another Outkast album? You know, I think they need to do it. You know what I'm saying? They never broke up. It's just why the long hiatus though? That's the thing.
they never went in depth. Why?
You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure Big Boy been itching to come out with a new Outkast album. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I mean, he's basically carried the torch for Outkast. You know what I'm saying? Like he's had a couple of good solo albums, but I'm pretty sure deep down inside he wants to come back out with another Outkast album. Why the long hiatus? You know, because if that's the case, if Big Boy, if Andre has writer's block and he wants to reintroduce himself, that I think the pressure is more on Andre than Big Boy because Big Boy been dropping music. So it's going to be harder, I would think, at this point for Andre to find himself again as an artist in today's climate of music compared to Big Boy because Big Boy been dropping music. I think he came out with he dropped a newer video actually earlier this week with Adam Levine from Maroon 5. You know what I'm saying? So he's been dropping music. I think it'll be harder for Andres. That's why I'm like, is it too late for them? Because what if they have no more chemistry in the studio?
Right.
You know, I don't know. But yeah. Outkast is actually my number two on my list. So I would definitely. I think out of everybody on this list, I think that's the most. That's the one that people want to see. We want to see the Outkast reunite.
Yeah, definitely. Alrighty. Now this my number two might be a bit
Mm.
surprising. Is gonna be the Far Side.
Ooh.
Now you guys know Slim Kid, Fat Lip, Booty Brown, and whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
But I felt like their breakup was one of the most tragic in hip hop, in my personal opinion.
Right.
Just from all the drama that they went through, then I want to say Slim Kid going into either Slim Kid or Jay Swift, but
Mm.
because Jay Swift he left the group, the producer after Bizarre Ride
Right.
and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And I think he left over money issue. They weren't paying him and stuff like that too. So that's when they had like Jay Dilla doing the majority of the production,
Right.
and Slim Kid did some production on the second album and whatnot too. Oh, excuse me, I forgot JD. Excuse me.
Right.
But then after the release of Lab in California, they had more issues. I think Fat Lip had left. They dropped the Plain Rap album and then the Humboldt Beginnings, like 2000 and 2004, respectively. But at the same time, it was just like the magic was not there and stuff too. And again, this is another group, where motherfuckers still beefing with one another and
Mm.
shit too. I think Fat Lip, he even had his issues with drugs too. It's kind of a sad story because the Far Side definitely was one of the most original groups to ever come out from the West Coast and stuff like that
Yeah.
too. And it's kind of fucked up that all the members are not really together.
Right.
Even though I think they launched the 30th anniversary tour for like the Bazaar ride and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's still like no album and stuff like that, too from them.
And they all still alive too. So
Right.
I remember seeing, I think it was, I want to say last year or 2020 when I saw a live stream interview with Slim Kid Trey and the journalist Sincere. Shout out to the journalist Sincere. Slim Kid Trey on that live stream, he actually said that they were getting back together, that they were reuniting, that they talked it out, and things, everything was all good with them, and we haven't gotten that reunion yet. Now, maybe part of the reunion was the you said that they did a tour for Bizarre Ride.
Yeah,
Maybe that's part of the reunion, and getting things back together with the group. Because I would love to hear another Far Side album, and Lab Cab was great. You know what I'm saying? That was a Five Night classic, and after that it's like they went downhill after that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think, like, just like Outkast, I don't think their fan base want to be remember the group on a bad note, like, Outkast at Idlewild. We don't want to remember them with that, and I'm sure the Far Side fans don't want to remember them with Lab Cab, with all four of them. So I think they definitely should get back together, and make it official, and give us some new music. Diamond D, work with Diamond D again. He worked on Lab Cab with them. You know what I'm saying? Give us Diamond D production again. Hit up Q-Tip, hit up Questlove. You know, there's so many other people. K Tronada, Thundercat. There's so many other people now that they could work with. You know, I'm making my own wish list for the Far Side, but I think it's so many new artists now that they could work with. I could see them working with that. It would be dope. You know,
right. Hey, Ninth Wonder could be a good fit.
Ninth Wonder, right? Yeah, Ninth Wonder.
But yeah,
You know what I'm saying? My number one is Pete Rock and CL Smooth. I've always wanted this group to get back together. I know Pete and CL had their issues. I really don't know why, because I'm from, in the past I've heard CL say was, Pete was jealous and this and that. Then Pete don't really talk about it. You know what I'm saying? If they ask Pete, I've never heard him talk about it publicly. Like, he don't talk about it. It's only been CL that's been talking about it. You know what I'm saying? And I think anytime CL go out of his way to talk about it, that's when Pete says, "You know what? I was thinking about reuniting, and now I don't want to do it." So, I don't know what I still don't know what the issue is with them, but that was like always one of my favorite groups all time. That was like my first concert with, live ever, was seeing them in concert on the Uptown MCA tour, and they had two classic albums. I don't know what happened after '94. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking maybe it's more jealousy coming from CL than Pete. Because I don't know why. If CL is going out and telling people, "Oh, Pete is jealous," why would Pete be jealous of you when he's the one that's been dropping shit forever? And CL hasn't dropped shit in a long time. Like, people been asking, where's CL been? You know what I'm saying? Like, he pops up every now and then, but Pete's still been out here doing albums and stuff with people, with artists. So I don't know what the issue is with them, and I just wish they would squash it. Every time, every couple of years, you hear, "Oh, they getting back together." I would think it was like 2011, 2010, that Peter said, "Oh, they're gonna re-record the Mecca and the Soul Brother with a live band and re-release it for the anniversary," and that never happened. We was gonna get a new album, that never happened. You know, I really don't know. I would like for them to come out and air out the shit once and for all, and either we're gonna get a new reunion or we not. But I don't think it, like, for CL to go out on different platforms and talk shit about Pete. I don't think that's helping the situation. But I wish they would squash whatever beef they got, and come out with another album, because I've always been a huge fan of them.
yeah. That whole shit's another story, man. Shit, I've heard stories about money issues,
Yeah.
about how they had differences over the next album and stuff like that. It's
Right.
so much shit regarding them and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. I mean, and there's many more groups. I Brand Nubian. Well, Brand Nubian, they're back, but they haven't put out music in a minute though.
yeah, they never broke up.
Oh, they took like a hiatus or something.
Yeah, it was a hiatus because
Yeah,
Sadat
I
was
actually I saw Brand Nubian this past summer. That's the only time I've seen Brand Nubian live, and they killed it. And they actually they had their issues and they reunited. And the Fugees, we know their history with them. They broke up. They got back for a short time. I heard about Praz going to jail or some shit, and you know, I don't know. I don't, at this point is like I think that ship already sailed with them. I don't know if we're gonna get a new album ever from them again. I would love for Lauren to come out with something, EP, something new. You know what I'm saying? But maybe that's asking for too much.
Mhm.
Um, it's a EPMD. Even with them, it's like they went back and forth. One minute they're together, then they break up, then they come back. I believe now they're back together. It's official.
Yeah,
So they're supposed to be dropping a new album at some point.
I think just touring.
Are they touring? Okay. Well, at some point, all of my favorite groups all the time is like it seemed like they don't come out with new music or they're just touring and that's it. And y'all just gotta squash the beef, man. Come on, man. Naughty by Nature, they're another one. They haven't dropped nothing good in 20 something years, and I feel like they're just touring just to tour and that's it. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I definitely missing a lot of these iconic groups in today's climate of music, man. It's like everybody want to go solo, but
Right.
this was great. If anybody, when y'all watch this, y'all got any more groups that need to reunite, just drop it in the comments.
Oh, I didn't say my number one yet.
Oh man, my bad. Say your number one.
You good? My number one is Onyx.
Did Onyx
Now,
break up?
well, Sansi left.
Mm-hmm.
Sansi left the group and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. You know what I'm saying? And technically, they Federal and Sticky are still together.
Right.
But I'm more of a fan when it comes to all Onyx, when it came to Fredro,
Yeah.
Sticky, and Sunsea and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because it was just that all three of them pretty much represented anarchy and stuff like that. Now, granted, they still doing their thing, especially with the shit with the Snow Goons, but at
Right.
the same time, again, so I like them now than I did like between like the early 2000s, but I just miss Sunsea. That's all I'm gonna say.
What? Why did he leave? Did he give a reason, or he just got tired of the business?
Let me look it up. Hold on,
Because I've
because
like I feel like I'm not throwing shit at Onyx. I love Onyx. I feel like being that Sticky and Federal like they blood cousins or something like that, right? I feel like maybe
yeah,
they pushed Sunsea out of the picture so that they can keep the money to themselves.
mm,
That's what I mean. That's I've always got that feeling like we don't really need you. You know what I'm saying? We can keep the money and split it, both ways without anybody else involved.
oh, he left to do a solo career. From what I looked up.
But he hasn't dropped anything. I haven't heard nothing
Shit.
from Sunzi and since the Shut Him Down album.
He did drop a few solo
He
albums.
did. I never. It wasn't promoted, but he wasn't on no major label, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I never knew he had any solo albums out. You know what I'm saying? So, and he was like another dope MC in the crew. Another he had great chemistry with Sticky and Fredro, and I don't know what happened to him after Shut Him Down. So I'm like, yo, what the hell happened to Sun Z? They don't even mention him no more.
Nah,
You know what I'm saying?
like
So and they still making fire. I heard their new album this past year. Was it Onyx versus Everybody? That was that
fire.
that had released like around the time they battled Cypress. So a versus battle that I still haven't seen to this day, and I don't know why they haven't. Nobody's uploaded it to YouTube. But they still dropping heat. Fredro just dropped a new solo album that was fire. I know he's producing stuff for other artists as well, and I still love Onyx, man. Onyx is still killing it out here, and it's a shame that we can't get Sun Z back. Like, they need to find wherever he's at and pull him back in. Like, yo, we need to do Shut Him Down 2.0 or something. We need another Onyx album with all three members. Because they lost Big DS, rest in peace to Big DS. They lost Shy Skills, rest in peace to him. But I would love to hear another Onyx album with Sun Z in it.
I agree.
You know,
But yeah, that's my number one.
yep. And this was a great list. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, like when y'all watch this, drop in the comments what other groups you'd like to see back, or or cliques reunite, and you know, yeah, man, I need these groups to come back and drop some fire because we ain't got groups no more. Griselda's like the only ones that still like doing it for as far as groups, and
Yeah.
they're not even like a real group. They're like solo artists that come together and do a group album. But you know, we need I need my groups back to do some fire shit. So
I agree, bro.
I
But yeah,
mean,
this was a fun ass list.
yeah, this is dope. Subscribe to the channel, like, comment, share. You know, I'm a definitely drop like four or five. I want to do like 20 videos a year. So I'm up to like 14. I want to drop a couple more before the end of December. You
All
know,
right, bro. Just let me know.
yeah, no
All
doubt.
right,
Thanks as always, man.
no problem, bro.
All
Peace.
right, peace.